Every time you go into power struggle with someone, it's because of trust issues. And it might not even be in that relationship. It could be from your past. It could be past relationships. It could be childhood. Yes, those relationships we've had there do affect us in our present today. The last one here is a shared vision. Do we have some areas that we are going in the same direction that we're excited about? We can have an individual vision. You may have different hobbies, different things that are important, certainly in our businesses and our partners. But if we don't have something shared, you know what most people do? They get married, they have children, and they use those children to bond. Or your dog. Or your cat. And it's actually having a vision together to bond over that makes a relationship sustainable and exciting over time. Now, some of this information could be painful. So, I'm connection. I have ways to look at all ways of intimacy. I know what my commitment is and I can communicate about it. Conflict resolution, trust, and shared vision. Now, let's look at an unhealthy model. Very different here. We're still in a house, but you can look at the foundation. We've got some missing bricks, we've got some cracks in the foundation. This is about you, and this is where you can do something about it. Unexpressed grief, unfulfilled dreams, negative beliefs about myself, about my partner, about men, about women, unmet needs, all pushed underground until one of the pipes breaks and all the sewage starts to come up, and that's when people usually come to the therapist's office. That pain is the big motivator. But in this model, you can see there's no differentiation. Everybody's under the same roof, and we're kind of welded at the hip. I'm faced on you, and I'm looking away. So one is a withholder and withdraws and avoids more, and fears being controlled or engulfed. The other one is fears abandonment or feeling rejected. But the funny part of this, that underneath, it's really the opposite. This is why when people, I have this happen to me all the time. Women will come in, the husband, they've separated. They'll say, that's it. No, he doesn't want to be involved. And I'll say, wait until you start focusing on yourself and start to get a life. You're not done yet. And they say to me 2 months later, how did you know? They come back, because when I feel that you're really leaving, I'm going to hook you back. So what we want to do here is look at these things underneath and have healing for that and have some resolution. But I'll tell you the biggest thing. When we don't do this from our past, when we're having our behaviors back and forth here, cause conflict and I don't know what to do about it, and you just diminish your connection, what begins to happen is resentments build. And I've got resentment here, but I reckon that's the biggest thing. That's the biggest thing. So, what is a resentment? A lot of people say it's like letting somebody live rent-free in your head, where you sit and ruminate over what they did or what they didn't do. But basically a resentment is something that happened that you didn't want to have happen, or something that you didn't want, that didn't happen that you wanted. What happens from that is people will say they get anger, but I don't think so. Anger is an emotion that most people know nothing about, and it's your fundamental boundary. It's your yes or your no. Anger is a passionate emotion. And I'm not talking about somebody road rage dumping on you. It's a passionate emotion, and it's often linked to your values. People get really angry inside when something is wrong, when they say that's not right, somebody's hurt a child, our planet is losing global warming, whatever it is. People get angry about that, and it's actually the healthy anger that brings forth a lot of passion. I'll tell you what the problem is. Most people think that anger is rage, and rage is a behavior. And this is the thing that creates the separation, because most of us think of rage as when somebody spits the dummy and blows it or screams. But that might be an overt type of rage, when people are outraged. So it's very fiery. Okay, but then there's another one called covert rage, which is enraged. And people hold that inside, and they usually wall off with busyness, addictions, resentment, something to stop that. So what you see here is rage is a behavior, and rage is always about this underneath, okay? And I got competition here. We've got with the village men, it looks like. What is a cover-up for is usually fear, hurt, guilt, shame. So the next time you're raging in your head or somebody's raging at you or you spit the dummy and then you later say, I don't know what got into me. It's always been in there and there's a way to get it out. But with this, it's usually about something you're embarrassed about, something you're ashamed about, something you're hurt or frightened about. I'll give you an example. Years ago back in America, I had this boyfriend and he was like 6'5", gorgeous, had a Harvard business degree, was going back for a second degree in psychology, the kind of guy that your mother would be so glad for you to marry. You know, and I knew it. And it was so fun, and we had some fun, but I didn't love him. And after about a year, I kind of broke off. And he was a social creature, and he belonged to this big organization called the Bachelor Club. And a few weeks after we broke up, and this is before we had email or anything, he came by my house and left an invitation to go to this thing. Not with him, but that I might like it. There was a lot of single people. Well, let me tell you, I was ranting and raging around that house. Thank God nobody was there, thinking, what a pervert. Why would he invite me? What does he want to watch some guy chat me up? And I was really fuming and upset and thinking, boy, I'm glad I broke up with him. What an idiot. And then after a while I thought, hang on a minute, Shirley, this is a bit too much. You're really overreacting here. Why are you doing that? So what I did is I sat down, I did a little process, and I went underneath. And honest to God, what I heard, it's almost like it just came right up my mother's face and her voice, and I could hear it. She never likes anybody that's nice. She likes those ones with the beady eyes. They're probably alcoholics or someone like that. And I actually was feeling shame because what was wrong with you, Shirley? Here's this gorgeous guy. Why didn't you marry him? So we have a lot of these things that drive behavior. Thank God I didn't go out and make an ass out of myself. Scream at the man. That drive that. And this is happening all the time. Rage versus anger. Rage versus anger. So, what do? How do I break free from these cycles? Make peace with your past. Resolve your unexpressed grief. Learn how to set new boundaries. Be humble and willing to make mistakes. That's the other thing. Making mistakes is okay. Make commitments you're willing. Release your resentments and learn how to forgive. Sounds like a list here, but every step of that is vital. It doesn't happen if you don't change it. If nothing changes, nothing changes. So what I want to say, I guess, is behind closed doors, there is an opportunity to really connect, but you have to, like anything, there's no silver bullet, there's not a quick fix. You have to be willing to do the work. And you two can have an intimate relationship.